My name is Chuchu Kudi. I was called useless for being a stammerer.
I want you to imagine standing in front of your entire village, trying to speak, but the words won't come out right. Your tongue betrays you, your mouth fights against you, and every single person, your neighbors, your teachers, even the village chief is laughing. Not gentle laughter, cruel, mocking laughter that echoes in your head for years. They call you cursed. They call you useless. They tell your parents to stop wasting money on your education because a boy who can't speak properly will never amount to anything. That is exactly what happened to Chukwudi Obi. For 18 years, his village treated him like he was broken, like he was a punishment from the gods. So he left. He disappeared. And 20 years later, when that same village was dying, their school collapsing, their clinic closed, their roads destroyed, a billionaire philanthropist offered to rebuild everything. But only on one condition: the village had to publicly apologize to that useless boy with the stutter. And that's when they realized the useless boy was the billionaire, and he was making them beg. Please, before we dive into this powerful story of rejection, resilience, and the sweetest revenge, do me a favor. Hit that like button. It helps us share these important stories with the world. And if you haven't subscribed yet, press that button now. You don't want to miss the moment when the rejected becomes the redeemer. Now, let me introduce you to Chukwudi. Chukwudi Obi was born in Umweze village in Anambra State. It was a small farming community where everyone knew everyone and reputation was everything. Chukwudi was the third son of Mr. and Mrs. Obi, simple farmers who barely made enough to feed their family. But there was something different about Chukwudi, something that would define his entire childhood and shape his destiny. He stuttered severely. Not the mild hesitation that many people grow out of, but a profound speech impediment that made every sentence a battle. My name is Chukwudi would take him 30 seconds to say. Teachers would get impatient, classmates would finish his sentences, adults would look away in discomfort or disgust. In a modern city, this might have led to speech therapy, understanding, accommodation, but in Umweze village in the late 1990s, it led to something else: superstition. The village elders whispered that Chukwudi's stutter was a curse, that his mother must have offended the gods during pregnancy, that the boy was marked. The village dibia, the traditional priest, was consulted. He performed rituals. He gave Chukwudi herbs to drink. Nothing worked. And with each failed cure, the village's judgment grew harsher. That boy is cursed. His tongue is tied by evil spirits. He will bring misfortune to anyone who gets close to him. Chukwudi's parents defended him at first. His mother, Mrs. Obi, would cry when neighbors called her son cursed. His father would argue that the boy was intelligent, just different. But even they started to doubt. When Chukwudi was 10, his father took him to 5 different dibias, 2 churches, and even a mosque. Everyone tried to fix him. No one tried to accept him. School was torture. Chukwudi was brilliant. His written work was excellent. He solved math problems faster than anyone. He understood literature deeply. But when called upon to read aloud or answer questions, he would freeze. His mouth would betray him, and his classmates would laugh. His teacher, Mr. Okoro, was the worst. A harsh man who believed that stuttering was a sign of laziness or stupidity. Chukwudi, stand up, he would mock, imitating the stutter while the class roared with laughter. If you can't even speak properly, how will you ever succeed in life? Chukwudi learned to stay silent. He sat in the back of the class. He never raised his hand. He wrote his answers instead of speaking them. But silence didn't protect him. It just made him invisible. The turning point came when Chukwudi was 16, in his final year of secondary school. The village was preparing for the annual New Yam Festival, the biggest celebration of the year. The youth were expected to perform traditional speeches honoring the elders. Every student was assigned a speech to deliver. Chukwudi begged Mr. Okoro to excuse him. Sir, please, I can write something instead. Please don't make me speak in front of everyone. Mr. Okoro's face hardened. Everyone participates, Chukwudi. No exceptions. Maybe if you actually try, instead of hiding, you will improve. Or maybe you'll finally accept that you are not meant for educated things. Either way, you are speaking at the festival. The day of the festival arrived. The entire village gathered in the village square, hundreds of people. Chukwudi's turn came. He walked to the center, shaking. He looked out at the crowd, every eye on him, every face already showing impatience or amusement. He opened his mouth. Hun. Someone in the crowd laughed. Then another, then more. Chukwudi tried again. Honorable El. The laughter grew. People were elbowing each other, whispering, pointing. The village chief himself was chuckling, shaking his head. Chukwudi's father stood up, trying to defend his son. Please, give the boy a chance. But the village chief, Chief Nwanku, raised his hand. Enough. This is embarrassing. The boy clearly cannot speak. He should not have been put up here. Take him down. Mr. Okoro stepped forward and loudly proclaimed, You see, this is what I've been saying. Some children are not meant for education, not meant for public life. Chukwudi should go farm with his father and stop wasting everyone's time. The crowd murmured in agreement. Chukwudi stood there, frozen, humiliated, broken. Then he ran. He ran from the square, from the laughter, from the village. He ran until he couldn't hear them anymore. He found himself at the village stream, the place where he used to hide as a small boy. He sat on a rock and cried. He cried for the boy who couldn't speak. He cried for the parents who were ashamed. He cried for the life that seemed impossible. That's when he made a decision. He would leave. He would go somewhere where no one knew him, where his stutter didn't define him before he opened his mouth, where he could be more than the cursed boy. 2 weeks later, Chukwudi left Mweze village. He didn't tell anyone except his parents. His mother packed him a small bag of food. His father gave him all the money he had saved, 3,000 naira. It wasn't much, but it was everything they had. Chukwudi, his father said, You are not cursed. You are not useless. Don't let these people make you believe their lies. Go. Become something. Prove them all wrong. Chukwudi nodded, unable to speak without crying. He took a bus to Lagos. He was 18 years old, had a secondary school certificate, a bad stutter, and 3,000 naira to his name. He had no plan, just a burning determination to never go back to that village until he was someone they couldn't laugh at. Lagos was overwhelming. The noise, the crowds, the speed of everything. Chukwudi found a room in a crowded compound in Ajegule, sharing with 5 other young men. He looked for work, any work, but every interview ended the same way. What's your name? Chukwudi. Can you speak clearly? I have a stutter, but I can work hard. We'll call you. They never called. After a month of rejections, Chukwudi found a job that didn't require talking, night security at a construction site. 12 hours a night, watching equipment, making sure nothing was stolen. The pay was terrible, the work was lonely, but it was something. During those long nights, Chukwudi read. He had always loved reading because words on a page didn't judge him. He found discarded newspapers, old magazines, anything with text. He read about business, about success, about people who overcame obstacles. One night, he found a damaged book in the construction site trash, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He read it cover to cover, 3 times. The book talked about the power of desire, of definite purpose, of persisting despite obstacles. For the first time, Chukwudi felt like someone understood him. He started writing. Since speaking was difficult, writing became his voice. He wrote his thoughts, his ideas, his goals. He wrote, I will become wealthy. I will build something valuable. I will return to Umweze as someone they respect. After 6 months as a security guard, Chukwudi got his break. The construction company owner, Chief Emeka, a wealthy developer, came to inspect the site late one night. He found Chukwudi reading a business textbook under the security hotlight. Young man, what are you reading? Chukwudi showed him the book. He didn't try to speak. He just showed it. Can you read and write English well? Chukwudi nodded. But you can't speak well. Chukwudi shook his head, pointed to his mouth, then wrote on paper, I stutter, but I can work hard, I can learn. Chief Emeka looked at him for a long moment. Come to my office tomorrow. I might have something better for you than security work. The next day, Chukwudi started working in the company's records department. filing documents, organizing papers, data entry. It was still low-level work, but it was inside, it was during the day, and it paid slightly better. More importantly, Chukwudi was around business. He watched how Chief Emeka negotiated with suppliers. He saw how construction projects were planned. He absorbed everything like a sponge. At night, he enrolled in evening classes at Lagos State Polytechnic, studying business administration. It took him 6 years instead of the usual 4 because he had to work full-time while studying part-time. But he graduated, top of his class in written exams. He rarely had to speak. After graduation, Chukwudi asked Chief Emeka for more responsibility. He wrote a detailed business proposal showing how the company could save money by streamlining their supply chain. It was brilliant. Chief Emeka was impressed. "Chukwudi, you are smart, too smart to be in records. I'm promoting you to project coordinator." But Chief Emeka hesitated. "The job requires meetings, phone calls, client interactions. Can you handle that with your condition?" Chukwudi pulled out something he had been working on, a communication card that explained his stutter. It read, "I have a speech impediment. I may take longer to speak. Please be patient. I communicate best in writing and email. Thank you for understanding." Chief Emeka smiled. "You are going to do well, young man." And Chukwudi did. He developed a system. For meetings, he prepared written agendas and notes beforehand. For phone calls, he used email when possible. When he had to speak, he took his time. Some clients were impatient, some were rude, but his work was so excellent that results spoke louder than words. 5 years later, Chukwudi had saved enough to start his own company. He started small, a logistics business connecting suppliers with construction companies. He knew the industry, he knew the gaps, and he knew how to work harder than anyone else. His stutter was still there, but Chukwudi had learned something powerful. You don't need a perfect voice to build a successful business. You need vision, persistence, and the ability to deliver results. He hired people who were good at client-facing work. He focused on strategy and operations. He built a team that complemented his weaknesses and amplified his strengths. The business grew. Within 3 years, it was one of the top logistics companies in Lagos. Within 5 years, Chukwudi was a millionaire. Within 10 years, he was worth over ₦1 billion. He expanded into real estate, manufacturing, and infrastructure development. He built schools, hospitals, and roads across Nigeria. He became known as the silent billionaire because he rarely gave speeches or interviews. He let his work speak for him. During all this time, Chukwudi never went back to Umueze village. He sent money to his parents, helped them build a better house, took care of their needs, but he never returned. The wound was still too deep. Until one day, 20 years after he left, he received a letter. It was from the Umueze Village Development Committee. The letter explained that the village was in crisis. "Our only secondary school is collapsing. The building is condemned. Our health clinic closed 5 years ago. The roads are impassable in the rainy season. Our youth are leaving because there is no future here. We are writing to successful sons and daughters of Umueze asking for help. Any contribution would be appreciated." The letter was signed by Chief Nwanko, Mr. Okoro, and other village elders, the same people who had mocked him, called him cursed, told him he was useless. Chukwudi read the letter 3 times. He felt the old anger rising, the old shame, but also something else, opportunity. He made a decision. He would help them, but on his terms. He called his assistant, draft a response to Umueze village. Tell them the Obi Foundation is willing to fund a complete village rehabilitation, new school building, new clinic, new roads, everything. His assistant waited patiently as he spoke. She was used to his stutter. She never rushed him. "What are the conditions, sir?" Chukwudi smiled. It was not a kind smile. "One condition. The village must publicly apologize to the boy with the stutter they called cursed at a village meeting. Full apology from the chief, the teachers, the elders, everyone who mocked him. If they agree, we build. If they refuse, we don't." The letter was sent. Chukwudi waited. 2 weeks later, he received a confused response. "We don't understand. Which boy with a stutter? What is his name? Where is he now? We want to apologize if we offended someone, but we need to know who." Chukwudi replied, "The boy's name will be revealed when the village agrees to the terms. No agreement, no development. Simple." The village elders were in a bind. Their school was literally falling apart. Students were attending classes under trees. The clinic being closed meant people had to travel hours for basic medical care. The roads were so bad that produce rotted before it could reach the market. They called an emergency village meeting. Should they agree to apologize to someone they don't even know? Chief Nwanko argued, "How can we apologize for something we don't remember? This could be a scam." But others argued, "What choice do we have? Our children need a school. Our sick need medicine. Whoever this boy is, if we wronged him, we should apologize anyway." After hours of debate, they agreed. They sent word, "We agree to your terms. We will apologize publicly. Please tell us when and where, and reveal the identity of the person we wronged." Chukwudi arranged everything. He would return to Umueze village in 1 month. The entire village was to gather. A representative from his foundation would explain everything. The news spread. People speculated wildly. Who is this mysterious boy? What did we do to him? Is this really happening?
On the appointed day, the village square was packed. Every resident of Umueze came. The elders sat in their places of honor. Chief Nwanko, now much older and grayer, sat in the center. Mr. Okoro, retired but still bitter-looking, sat among the elders. A representative from the Obi Foundation took the stage first. She was professional, articulate. "Good afternoon, people of Umueze. I represent the Obi Foundation for Community Development. Our founder has committed 200 million naira to rehabilitate this village. But first, you must fulfill your agreement." She clicked a remote. A large screen showed a photo of a young boy, maybe 16 years old, standing awkwardly. Many villagers recognized him immediately. Gasps rippled through the crowd. This boy attended school here. He was brilliant academically, but had a severe stutter. Instead of helping him, this village mocked him, called him cursed, told him he was useless, humiliated him publicly at your New Yam festival. His teacher told him he wasn't meant for education. Your chief laughed at him, and he left. The crowd was silent now. Many faces showed recognition, shame, discomfort. Mr. Okoro stood up. "Wait, is this about Chukwudi, the Obi boy who could barely speak?" "Yes," the representative said. "Chukwudi Obi, the useless boy you all rejected." "Where is he now?" someone called out. The representative smiled. "He's here." A black SUV pulled up to the village square. The door opened, and Chukwudi Obi stepped out. He was 38 years old now, well-dressed in a simple but expensive outfit, confident, successful, still unable to speak fluently, but no longer the broken boy who ran away. The crowd erupted in shocked whispers. "Chukwudi, the Obi boy, he's alive. He looks successful." Chukwudi walked to the stage slowly. His heart was pounding, but his face was calm. He looked out at the faces that had haunted his dreams for 20 years, the faces that laughed, the faces that called him cursed. His assistant handed him a microphone. He began to speak, slowly, taking his time. 20 years ago, I stood in this village square. I was 16. I tried to speak, and you laughed. The crowd shifted uncomfortably. "You called me cursed. You said I was useless. Your teacher," he pointed at Mr. Okoro, "said I wasn't meant for education. Your chief laughed at me." Chief Nwanko's face had gone pale. "So I left. I went to Lagos with 3,000 naira and a dream to prove you wrong." He paused, letting it sink in. "Today, I am worth over 5 billion naira. I own companies. I build schools and hospitals across Nigeria. I am the founder of the Obi Foundation." The crowd was completely silent now. The magnitude of what they had done, rejecting a billionaire when he was just a struggling boy, was hitting them. "I came back because you asked for help, and I will help you. But first, you owe me something. You owe me the apology you should have given me 20 years ago." Chief Nwanko stood up, looking older and smaller than Chukwudi remembered.
Chukudi, we didn't know. You didn't know I would become rich, Chukudi interrupted. That's the problem. You only treat people well if you think they might be useful someday. But every person deserves respect, rich or poor, speaking perfectly or not. Mr. Okoro stood up, his face red with shame. I was cruel to you, Chukudi. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Chukudi looked at him. This man who had mocked him every day, who had made school a torture chamber. Yes, you were cruel, and your apology comes 20 years too late, but I accept it, because I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for the children in this village who might be different, who might stutter or struggle, so they don't have to leave like I did. One by one, the elders stood and apologized, some genuinely remorseful, some clearly just going through the motions to get the funding. Chukudi accepted them all with the same calm dignity. Then he addressed the crowd. Tomorrow, construction begins on your new school, a modern building with 10 classrooms. Next month, we break ground on a fully equipped health clinic. The roads will be paved. There will be solar power, clean water, everything you need. The crowd wanted to cheer, but the weight of their shame held them back. But I have one more condition, Chukudi said. The new school will have a special education program for children with speech impediments, learning disabilities, or other challenges. No child in this village will ever be called cursed again for being different. If I hear that any teacher or elder has mocked a struggling child, all funding stops immediately. Do you understand? Chief Wanko nodded vigorously. We understand, Chukudi. We promise. Actions, not promises, Chukudi said. I will be watching. He stepped down from the stage. The crowd parted as he walked through them. People reached out to touch him, to apologize personally, to congratulate him. He accepted it all politely, but kept walking. He went to his parents' house. They were waiting for him, crying with pride. His mother hugged him tightly. My son, you did it. You proved them all wrong. I didn't do it to prove them wrong, Mama. I did it to prove myself right. Over the next year, Chukudi kept his promise. The school was built, modern, beautiful, with ramps for disabled students, a library, computer labs, and a special education wing. The health clinic was state-of-the-art. The roads were paved. Solar power provided electricity. Clean water systems were installed. Umueze village was transformed, and every building, every facility had a plaque, built by the Obi Foundation, founded by Chukudi Obi, son of Umueze. Chukudi didn't move back to the village, but he visited regularly. He funded scholarships for the children. He hired young people from Umueze for his companies. He turned his painful past into a purposeful present. Mr. Okoro, the cruel teacher, sought Chukudi out one day. I want you to know I've thought about what I did to you every day since you returned. I was a bad teacher. I should have helped you, not hurt you. Can you ever forgive me? Chukudi looked at this man who had once seemed so powerful. I forgave you the day I decided to help this village. Forgiveness isn't for you, Mr. Okoro. It's for me, so I can move forward without carrying your cruelty in my heart. What can I do to make it right? Teach better. If you are still teaching, be kind to the children who struggle. See their potential, not their problems. That's how you make it right. Today, Chukudi Obi is one of Nigeria's most respected philanthropists. He's built schools in 20 states. He's funded medical facilities for thousands. And everywhere he goes, he carries the same message. Your differences don't define your destiny. Your determination does. The special education program in Umueze village has become a model for other communities. Children with stutters, dyslexia, autism, and other challenges receive specialized support. No child is called cursed. No child is told they are useless. And in the school's main hallway, there's a large portrait of a young Chukudi, stuttering but unbowed, with the words, "He was different. He was rejected. He persisted. He became our greatest son." As I finish this story, I want you to remember something important. The world will judge you. People will call you names. They will mock your weaknesses. They will tell you what you can't do. And in those moments, you have a choice. You can believe them. Let their words become your reality. Let their limitations become your prison. Or you can do what Chukudi did. Take the pain, the rejection, the mockery, and turn it into fuel. Chukudi didn't destroy Umueza village. He saved it. But he saved it on his terms. He made them acknowledge their cruelty. He made them apologize. And then he lifted them up anyway. Not because they deserved it, but because he was better than they ever were. That's not weakness, that's power. The power to hurt those who hurt you and choosing to heal them instead. The power to withhold help and choosing to give it anyway, but with dignity and conditions. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel for more powerful stories about overcoming rejection and choosing grace over bitterness. And remember, the people who mock you today might need you tomorrow. When that day comes, you get to choose who you'll be. Choose to be someone who remembers the pain but doesn't pass it on. Chukwudi Obi was called useless, but he became priceless. He was called cursed, but he became a blessing. And the village that rejected him became the village that learned what they almost destroyed. That is justice. That is redemption. That is the ultimate victory.